Okay, welcome back to the Rock and Roll channel with my co-host for the wrestling talk of the week, my man Steve. We took off last week, but we did the Sunday before, so our weeks were all screwed up with Memorial Day. So, but we had a great talk the Sunday before.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Mr.
that was
Metallica over there.
Yeah, I know. I said, yeah, I can't do it this weekend. I can't. There's a lot of reasons. And the Panthers and the playoffs and everything. It was a big game, that game 5.
Oh,
So, but I think we covered so much that Sunday before. We're like, let's let wrestling see what develops, and then we'll reconvene this weekend, which
there
we're
you
doing
go.
now. So, Steve's gonna give his Raw recap, and then we're gonna get into some Money in the Bank preview talk. What we like about it, what we don't like about it. So, Steve, welcome back as always. You texted me last night that you liked Raw, so please, you don't mind sharing it with the masses.
I thought it was a good show. I mean, Raw always really delivers that 2.5 hour time slot. Being able to watch it live. I have it as like I was like rushing to get home. I had to do like some small errands. I walked in the door at like 4:45, and I felt like I was a winner. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna miss anything. I don't have to play like the catch-up card or anything like that. But all in all, I think that the people in where were they? They were like they were in Oklahoma. They were in
Also,
like Tulsa.
yeah,
They came out, they came to play. I think that honestly they had a little bit of an agenda. They were trying to cheer for, we want truth and we want truth. And then the
and we
second
went
wrestling,
OKC.
yeah, the second wrestling started happening, they forgot all about that. It was almost like they were just trying to like play into the internet and get themselves over a bit. But I mean, I forgive them. It is what it is. But
And I think that I'm sorry, I think that Michael Cole Indiana Pacers uh, thing in the beginning was a gimmick for that too.
I don't. How could they know? I mean, I don't think they could have done the math to make sure that's where they were going to be. I just think that
No, I
that's
mean, I think they knew that day. Obviously, I
oh
think it was to
the
take
way
away
they
from
did
our
it.
truth.
I get you.
If we get the OKC stuff pop, people will forget.
Because he could have wore a normal sleeveless shirt. I think it was his wear tank top was the bet, and it ended up being a jersey or something like
Right.
that. But yeah,
They
that
opened the
is
show with that.
to
Yeah.
get them going and get some heat into there. But
Mhm. And
I'll tell you,
people forget about truth.
I didn't watch all of them, but almost every Money in the Bank qualifying match was really, really good. And if you told me that you sat down and even if you picked them the day of, you want to tell me that you picked every Money in the Bank match correct? I don't know who I think I've went 0 for 4 counting SmackDown and Raw. Every single match I was wrong.
That'll lead us in perfectly when we make our semi picks in the.
Yeah, I looked and I was like, oh, there's no doubt in my mind Liv Morgan's going to be in this match. Stephanie Vakir comes out. I talked a little bit about this in a video the other day. I gave myself a good, it might even be 5 years off from like watching wrestling continuously, not paying attention to everything. And, in this last year of me getting back into wrestling to go to WrestleMania, there were some things that slipped through the cracks, and I don't know a lot about people. I don't know much about Stephanie Vakir. I know that she's a former North American champion. She's a former NXT champion. I don't know much about Lyra Valkyrie, but like I'm getting it as I go. The only thing I really know is her doing that. I don't even know what it's called. I think they called it the Devil's Kiss, the thing that Booker T always goes bananas for. But she really, really surprised me in that match, especially like when she goes to do that move, the way she smiles to the crowd and she's just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, get ready.
What's impressed me about her is her cardio.
Yeah.
It's on second to none, Lyra Valkyrie.
Like Liv came out,
Mhm.
then all of a sudden just Ivy Nile appeared in the ring. And then they just run this, it felt like 3-minute video on who is Stephanie Vakir, like where she came from. And I'm just looking at my TV and I'm like, this chick's winning this match. Like, no way they give this kind of a promo for somebody. And I guess that's her Raw debut match. She comes out and wins to go to Money in the Bank. For Liv Morgan to lose 2 weeks in a row makes you kind of think where her storyline is really going. But the whole thing with the Judgment Day is on and cracking. Finn and JD actually won a match thanks to their new girl out there on the outside. And that storyline might be changing as well. Like a couple weeks ago, we talked about how I thought that he was bringing her in to maybe swoop up Dom and then bring some friction. As soon as Finn won that match, he looked right at her and gave her like this wink. Like, yeah, I did that. And I know Finn's married in real life and all.
Oh
But
no, so is Dom.
but I mean, like,
it's like saying watching a
they're
movie and
making it
saying
where Finn's going after her now. Like, it doesn't.
I think Finn's going after Liv.
It's almost like they switched gears with the whole Carlito thing. That maybe the Judgment Day story is that they're not getting along, but they're not. Maybe where we thought they were going isn't that way anymore. I'm not really quite sure.
Right.
But to see Finn get a win on Raw, I think he's got 2 in the last month. That's awesome. JD, I'm a big fan of. To see him was really, really cool. I thought that was awesome. But the stuff with Judgment Day in the back, I mean, that storyline, I'm not sure where you think that's going right now, but that might be the most over in my mind the Judgment Day's been. Like, I'm really wanting to see more of those guys.
Shout out to my friend Abel. He called me right before. My friend Abel, huge wrestling fan. If you ever see my friend John in the Tat, it's a close friend of his as well. He called me right before we went on, and it got me pumped for this talk tonight. I said flat out to him, I think that's the best storyline on Monday Night Raw. The whole thing. I tune in for that. If I don't see it on Raw, I go on to YouTube to make sure I catch that, because that's one of the most viewed clips on YouTube. They always make sure to have those Judgment Day segments on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think it's the best thing going. I loved the Finn and Liv segment. It was cool to see a different side of Liv a little. I think it makes sense for her to lose because she's got to go take time off anyway. And then she can come back fresh for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, if there's going to be like a love triangle with Finn, Roxanne, and Dom.
Yeah.
Or if Finn's trying to steal Liv.
Yeah, it could
There's so much going on there. I hope they do it right. It sucks about Carlito not being there anymore. I thought he added a lot to the group. Maybe he didn't do much, but I thought he did.
Yeah, there was like a string of like times that like he stole the show, and it was like 6 or 7 moments that I was like, I forgot all about that. That was awesome.
Yeah. Dominic really has been playing the babyface the last couple weeks.
I think he's like drifting away. It's almost like he put the title on the line against Penta, and then since then we haven't really seen the Intercontinental Championship at all. I feel like it's almost like he's kind of fading back, I think.
I'm not ready to say that. But that being said, I listened to Busted Open today. I like to gauge where their heads are at a little and see, because I know Dave and Bullet are going to have different opinions.
Yeah.
So I always try to say, which side am I on this time? And me personally, I was on Team Bully today. Bully was like, I watch closely. I just don't think it's moving me, the product right now. I'll talk about it. I'll watch it. And I kind of like I said to you last night, I think they're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And Dave disagreed. And I know he's entertaining part 2 / a fan and / he cares. But he's like, how could you not watch that Sami Zayn promo and not be moved?
Oh, yeah.
In the opening. I thought it was okay. I didn't like, oh my God, this is fantastic. Who knows? The time after Money Bank and SummerSlam, things should pick up. Or they just go at a slower snail's pace than they used to. And I'm not trying to knock them for it. It's like you get some good publicity. You have a successful WrestleMania, money-wise.
Yeah.
And you get a little complacent. And who knows? There could be storylines that are being held up now because of contract situations and people getting canned that we're thinking a month or two down the line, but they're holding up because they don't know they're resigning somebody or not.
I gotcha.
So who knows? Like, there's a lot of business stuff we just don't know about. Our truth, we thought, could we have been any more wrong last week?
Nah.
We're going to talk about that because we've put over our truth a lot. And I said, man, when he's done wrestling, he's going to be a lifer with the company. He's the community guy, work in the back. I couldn't have been more wrong.
They'll figure something out for him. And if not, this is like the biggest blessing in the world to him. He's going to go to, if he wants to wrestle, he'll wrestle for, I think anybody would pick him up. But I mean, like, can you just think of the line that he's going to have at like any convention or any kind of wrestling show that he goes to, and he's selling his gimmicks, taking t-shirts, and
he's never done that really.
Yeah. He's always been somewhere.
Right. So, I think that's why they probably wanted him to take a pay cut. And he's like,
well, they say that he said today that they offered him a huge pay cut. It was like a slap in the face. It's kind of what WWE does a lot when they're trying to not fire you, but push you out the door, kind of let you know.
It's like, we kept you for nothing.
Yeah.
So if we need you tomorrow, if we don't care. I'm sure. And he probably, through people that he knows on the indie scenes in that world, he probably told him how much you could make.
Yeah.
I'm sure that appeals to him. He's a worker. So it makes sense. I always call it the AJ Styles TNA 2014 effect.
Oh, I got you.
You're an awesome guy, but we just want you to take a little less.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how I view it. But yes, was that so? I don't know. I think SmackDown's been good. I haven't been able to keep up with it as much not because I haven't liked it, but because it seems like the Panther hockey games have always been conflicting.
I get you.
So that's why you've been such a great help, like keeping me up on a lot of stuff. But every time I go back on YouTube, I'm like, oh, that was a good segment. So it seems like they're putting a lot more into SmackDown right now.
But it's 3 hours.
It's too long.
They kind of got 3 hours on Friday.
Yeah.
But also,
maybe Netflix is making certain requests.
Oh.
And they have to honor them, WWE, and it might not be what they want, but they got to keep them happy.
Yeah. Also on Monday we had Sami Zayn. Was it Sami and Punk? No, because Punk was in that other match. Oh, it was Uso and Sami Zayn teamed together. Went up against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And I kind of was wondering what they were going to make Bronson Reed look like. If he was going to be like the number 3 guy, like, hey, we brought you in to take a fall whenever they got to lose. Bronson Reed came out looking like King Kong. He's got like a brand new opening. They come out with a dark screen. There's like smoke coming out.
Wow.
They got the light on him. He's roaring for the camera. And then as you're trying to soak him in, Braun just came running out. I was trying to pay attention to him so much that I didn't hear if they announced him. They come out. They have their match, Destruction. It honestly looked like Bronson Reed and Braun were going to lose. And at that moment, Seth broke it up. Then he went in. He delivered the curb stomp to everybody, laid everybody out. This team's going to be running stuff. That's going to be the story. If you watch WCW in 1996, get ready for a lot of heel heat because I think that's what they're going to be doing.
I think they missed the boat there, man.
Oh,
even McGregor said the Seth Rollins now is no different to me than 3 months ago.
Oh,
they had a chance to really knock this one out of the park, and I don't think they've done that right now. Because I was high on this group.
Yeah, I think I don't want them to get.
You're right.
Bigger. I don't want them to get bigger, but I mean, the one thing I'm thinking about in my mind is we got 3 big heels. Seth Rollins is like a Hall of Famer level main event guy. He's going to be like a big heel. And then this brand also has Gunther. And there's only one major championship to go around. I don't see Gunther going down and fighting for the Intercontinental title again.
Nope.
So what does Gunther really look like when he's not a champion or fighting for a championship? He's just in I don't want to call him mid card, but like let's say like what's a regular feud for him look like? What's that gonna be like? Like if
Right.
I don't know. I think I
No,
would get
a mid carder. You're being nice. A mid carder.
yeah. If I'm anything, if I'm anybody who's not just a straight mid card heel, I'd want to leave Monday Night Raw so fast
I would
because
too.
that main event spot is going to be eaten up every time by those three guys right there. But one of my favorite segments from the entire show was we had Karrion Kross talking to Sami Zayn in the hallway, and then in the locker room we had Jey Uso kind of licking his wounds. He got taking a beating during that match, and Gunther came in, and Jey Uso immediately was like, "Hey, what's up?" And Gunther was like, "No, we're just gonna talk." And came in and sat down next to him. There's two guys in the locker room sitting at the stalls right next to each other.
Right.
And he's just like, "Hey, I got to give it to you. Like you've been a better champion than I thought you would be. Your reign, honestly, will be memorable. You're one hell of a friend. Sometimes I think that you're more of a friend than smarter than a wrestler. You have a big match against me in a week on Monday in Phoenix. And here you are getting beat up, fighting wars that really aren't even your war." And he goes, "I'm sure if Punk gets in trouble during the main event, you'll run out there to help him and you're going to get beat down again." And, he was just telling him, like, do not forget about me. Like, I am coming for you at full strength. I can't remember the last Gunther match, but I don't think he's had a match since WrestleMania 41 in my mind. He
It was
didn't
a very
fight.
babyface type thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of honestly what I was thinking about is because like I don't want to fast forward ahead too much.
No.
But Money in the Bank, you got John Cena, you got Cody Rhodes, you got Jey Uso, all out there. That's the show's going to end with two champions out there in the ring. Somebody is going to be running around, whether that's Seth Rollins or anybody else is going to be running around with that Money in the Bank briefcase.
But we're going to get to that. Don't worry.
Yeah. And it's like, let's say Seth Rollins runs down and he's going to cash in. Wouldn't Gunther like come down and be like, "Hey, not tonight. This ain't going down," and like making sure that that cash in stops.
Didn't he clarify, say he didn't care who was there that Monday night? Whether
but like, let's say
or Logan Paul.
But I mean, if you're Gunther, do you want to fight a beat up Jey Uso?
Oh, of course.
Beat up on Monday, got beat up on Saturday. Now he's coming in, or do you want to fight a Seth Rollins who's going to have Heyman in his corner
with the stable,
and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker coming?
Of course.
So I mean, that's something you really got to think about. But
I wonder if he's going to be the excuse me, the great equalizer.
Yeah,
believe it or not, actually help him.
But
I think Gunther would get a pop if he actually helped Jey Uso.
Yeah, and I think it would kind of get like that one thing I was saying is like where does he really fit in?
That's a great point.
Monday Night Raw, and like if he has a babyface turn, I mean, I'm not saying turn him into Vladimir Kozmir, but I mean like he could be a non-champion good guy and still be a guy you don't want to mess with. Like
absolutely. So great segue. Let's get into the card a little bit for Money in the Bank.
I got you.
This Saturday from the Intuit Dome, home of the first Raw on Netflix. Right now, listed on Wikipedia is only 4 matches. I expect a lot to get added between now and...
I think 1 match. I wouldn't be surprised if it's from Raw.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a tag match. How do you have this big show in Los Angeles and not have CM Punk on the card? I wouldn't be surprised if Punk and Zayn fight against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
Yeah. They set it up even on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go over the card a little bit. Like we said, only 4 matches right now listed. I expect more. I expect some surprises. Money in the Bank's a good time for that, especially with SummerSlam right around the corner, unless they're saving it for Raw on Phoenix.
Yeah.
Here. All right, we'll start with a women's title match. You talked about her earlier, Lyra Valkyrie, champion, taking on Becky Lynch.
The stipulation for the match is that Becky says she will never fight Lyra Valkyrie for the Intercontinental. No, she said, "I will never fight you for that title again."
Okay.
So a lot of people are saying like Becky has to win, because how is Becky never going to fight Lyra Valkyrie for the Intercontinental Championship? The way I see Lyra Valkyrie's run on Raw in this last few months, I don't think the plans WWE has for her to be Intercontinental Champion for a long, long time. I wouldn't be surprised if Lyra beats her again to build her up. And then one day, once she loses this belt, you can run Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyrie again for one of the women's championships as she moves herself up the card. If it never really falls out that way, just put the United States belt on her and you can have her fight for that one and say, hey, that's not the Intercontinental title and you can still get around it. But I don't know. But one of the reasons I think Becky came back is that I think she wants to help out her friend. And no matter what they're doing on screen, we've seen these girls like train and work together. So yeah, I think there's a I'm going to help you kind of way, give you your first big push, and beating Becky Lynch.
Yeah, help her
in series matches.
It's a payday. Wrestling Becky Lynch is a payday.
Yeah.
So it's like giving her the rub.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm reading, because the stipulation, if Valkyrie loses, that she has to raise Becky Lynch's hand and acknowledge Lynch is the better woman.
No,
it's kind of lame. But I'm sure that there's a reason for all that stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, next match. Okay, I think this is the most stacked. I've been critical a little bit, but I got to give it credit here. The most stacked women's Money in the Bank match. Yeah,
got 3 rookies in that match. 3.
That's all right, but they're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Would you take a rookie to help you win a Super Bowl if they're good?
Brock Purdy. I wish we would have won.
Brock Purdy. Yeah, you should know that. 7th rounder, nonetheless. But anyway, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, who will be in her corner, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Vecker.
Mm-hmm.
Stacked match. Stacked. I'm out of the picking Alexa Bliss game because I'm always wrong when I pick her, even though I'm biased. I don't know, man. It would be so cool if like Roxanne won and she like dangled the briefcase between Finn and Dom.
Mm.
Or just tease live with it all the time.
Yeah. Have her get a partner and cash in for the
tag. Just there's so much heel heat you could build with her. Just go in the clubhouse and kind of kick Liv out because look at me. Yeah. I got this. And then make Raquel maybe want to side with her a little more. Because remember, Finn was trying to get her to be in Raquel's corner last night.
Yeah.
And Liz's like, no, she's with me. There's so much meat on the bone there with a Roxanne Perez one. Am I going to go that route? I don't know if she's ready. I think she's more ready now than she was at Elimination Chamber.
I picked her to win the Chamber. I
thought you were crazy that day. But hey, it's wrestling. I was all set to give my, and I probably did give my whole, this ain't her time. She's just not ready, and then you picked her. But Rhea, I mean, she doesn't need it. She's Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
She doesn't need a cash in a briefcase. I think it's Roxanne's time. I'm gonna go with her here. Who do you have?
I'm picking Stephanie. I really think after that Monday, I was like, they got big plans for her. And the way that she lost the NXT belt was kind of surprising. It's almost like they, sometimes you'll be on the main roster while you're still wrestling in NXT matches. Mm-hmm. I think they got a plan for her that they're like, she's not going to have any time for that. That's one of the ways that belt just changed in the middle of nowhere. It felt like.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, the men's Money in the Bank match, Seth Rollins versus the B Team. God, am I being a heel tonight? But yeah, we got Solo, who hasn't had a match since Mania of importance. LA Knight, who always seems to get in these matches, but is just there for decoration. Penta, all right, he's awesome. Seth, obviously, Andrade, and El Grande Americano.
That El Grande Americano match was one special thing on Monday. Okay. I mean, as far as like upsets, I put that up there with like the 1-2-3 Kid over Razor Ramon.
Wow.
I mean, wow. I thought that they needed CM Punk to be in that ladder match because of Seth Rollins. They needed somebody to be able to fight that fight. I didn't really give AJ the biggest shot, to win it, but I just thought El Grande Americano was there to just sort of keep his storyline going. And, when Punk got taken to the outside on Monday, there was a big sort of fight. AJ, I think he could have won that match. He dove to the outside, which looked like he really honestly injured his ribs because the guys that were supposed to catch him, he looked like he went right in between them somehow. But he's not in the storyline with Sami Zayn and CM Punk. I don't understand why he would want to, try to help them or try
indirectly. He is.
Yeah, but
because of the Heyman segment last night.
Yeah, so once he got back into the ring to turn around, he takes the metal plate in the face, and then next thing you know, he gets beat, and I'm just like, what? Like, no way! Like, everybody kept joking that he was gonna work twice because he's working at Worlds Collide, going up against Vikingo. There I am making it look like I know anything about that show, but I thought that was a huge, huge upset, and
which is good.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm curious how it plays out with the Paul Heyman AJ Styles segment.
Mm-hmm.
Basically saying you should be a protector for Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
which is interesting because AJ's never been. It was I thought it was a great segment.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't got talked about that much.
Yeah.
I think that could play a role in the outcome of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Which I could see Punk coming in trying to help somebody, do the right thing, and AJ screw him over. I don't know. I'm just kind of reaching there.
The biggest,
it was there for a reason. That segment.
Yeah. My biggest question mark was Andrade. Even though I think El Grande Americano doesn't really fit this match, Andrade sure the hell doesn't fit this match.
It's in LA.
I love him. I've always been a fan of his, but I can't even remember the last time that guy got a win. It wasn't on.
I understand, but they're thinking also it's Los Angeles, a big Latin community. You got Penta and Andrade in the match, and that looks good on the poster.
I think they're also trying to point at when Worlds Collide. It's supposed to be a big game with that too.
Yeah,
but
they also want to upset Charlotte. No, just kidding. All right, so last match that we have listed here, obviously, there's other matches. We'll talk about it at another time, but the big shocking. Let's keep the fans happy and charge overpriced tickets for. God, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a heel tonight. I swear. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso taking on Logan Paul and John Cena. I think I know where you're gonna go, Steve, and break it down.
I'll tell you the truth. Like, when it really comes down to it, I'm a WWE guy. I'm pretty pro WWE. Like, when it comes down to it, like, I'm not gonna say that they never do anything wrong. They're in a weird spot right now. Like, this match isn't hitting with me as much as I really thought it was going to 2 weeks ago. I know the Money in the Bank's gonna be fun. It's got two of the best gimmick matches that are gonna be on that card. And it'll be awesome to see Cena and Cody in the ring for the first time since WrestleMania 41. But they didn't get me with this match. It still doesn't really make any sense. I think that it really comes down to me thinking about John Cena, the heel character. He turned because The Rock made him a promise. We haven't seen The Rock since. We don't know the relationship between him and Travis Scott. There was so much talk about Travis Scott wrestling on this show, being a part of this show. I think there's a lot of smoke. I think that Travis Scott is going to be somewhere involved in this match. How does Logan Paul fit into all of that? That's just what I don't get. I'm a big fan of Logan Paul's wrestling, but it was almost like Cody could have picked anybody for him to be in that match. I don't know why it's Logan Paul. And just the match to me doesn't really make a lot of sense. Cody should be fighting for the championship, not in a tag team match.
Wouldn't it make sense if you kept Gunther like a monster heel?
Yeah.
And Gunther and Cena, and then set up Jay and Gunther after that?
Because like at Saturday night's main event, when this match started to get put together, it was a backstage promo between Cena and Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were setting up something for like Crown Jewel, where they were going to do champion versus champion again. And then Cena starts talking about how when he leaves, wrestling is going to be horrible. And what if Jey Uso goes out there and loses to Logan Paul and he becomes the champion now that a YouTuber is running with the belt? It was almost like
that was funny.
like he was cutting him down, almost like saying that like he
you're
didn't have
gonna
any
lose to a
wrestling
YouTube.
ability.
Yeah, you're
And
gonna
now
lose
all
to
of a
a
sudden
YouTuber.
they're best friends, and now all of a sudden they're in this tag match fighting to help each other. I don't know. I just don't get it.
What I'm thinking is you and I think we try to be logical, but we just think as fans what makes sense, what doesn't.
Yeah.
TKO's thinking from business. To them, having Logan Paul on the bill next to Cena means a lot more money than Gunther. Bottom line. And I get it, especially in Hollywood, where Logan has big appeal. I get where they're coming. It's total just keep people happy and put a big name next to Cena.
I got you.
Not what makes sense booking wise or storyline. I try to do it from both sides. It's sure not easy, but I don't think it matters who wins that match. You can do 50 reasons for each way. It makes sense if Cody and Jey win, for Cody to piss off Cena.
Yeah,
for their rematch.
I think if Cody wins, I think
but he got to pin Logan.
I think it sets up SummerSlam.
Right, and Cena's not going to get pinned.
Yeah, and I think that if no matter what, it comes down to Jey Uso being laid out outside the ring and what story they're going to tell to hook you to Monday. I think we won't. I'm not sure we'll see the briefcase used, but I think the briefcase will be involved in the end of the match.
Yeah, I can't see Seth not winning the Money in the Bank for two reasons. One, look at the names they put in there with him. None are close to his level as far as stature on the card. Two, it's the 10-year anniversary of him winning the last time.
What if Punk and Sammy make sure that he doesn't win? They're not involved in the match.
It could be.
Pull him off a ladder. They could.
What if AJ helps?
I don't see it. I don't know.
I don't either, but what was the point of the Paul Heyman segment then?
Just trying to get somebody on the side for that match.
Yeah. Okay. I did take note of that, maybe because I'm a huge AJ Styles fan. But all right, so we covered Money in the Bank. We covered that. We talked a little R-Truth, and we can get back to him later. We could do a tribute show for that guy for all I care. I'm going to talk a little about AEW Double or Nothing, see what you thought, what you've seen, what you think about it. I watched it. I can't say it had me the most like glued to the screen.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think they really lose track on these shows, pay-per-views, of how long a match should go.
Yeah.
I mean, we're critical of WWE and rightfully so a lot, but there's not too many times where we say that match went way too long. They're really good at timing it. Tony is like, they get lost in time on these pay-per-views, and you're like, all right, just somebody win. I don't care who wins. Anarchy in the Arena was great. But how long can you keep relying on a gimmick match like that where people are taking bumps and using things that eventually could really damage someone's long-term career?
I understand they have a different pay-per-view model than WWE does. WWE, you give for $10 to Peacock. You can watch The Office. You can watch, I don't know, Fast 10s on there. You can watch,
Summer House.
But basically, the Peacock is going to give you the WWE pay-per-view. In my world, it's free because I'm paying for the other stuff that's on there.
Correct.
I mean, when you want to watch an AEW show, you got to give $50. So if I'm going to throw down my $50 to watch the show, I'm looking at how many matches there are, and I think I'm getting my money's worth. But I'm wondering if they can cut the show, if they even cut it almost in half and give you less matches, but it's the best matches. If you still like, you're going to get your money's worth. If you give you a 2.5 to 3 hour show instead of a 5 hour show,
right? It went too long.
Walk away is like whatever, or is that just dead in the world of wrestling? You're not going to pay $50 for a 3 hour wrestling experience.
I would rather do that. I just felt like just because a show goes too long doesn't mean you got your money's worth. I think that's a myth.
Yeah.
I think people would rather quality over quantity. You said it first, and then so many people after me said that the Saturday Night Live, while it might have gone a little fast, it moved and it had you at the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
I think people would rather that. $40, $50, absolutely. People don't want to sit in front of a TV for 6 hours.
I felt like when I watch their shows, I feel like I worked another shift at work. I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I gotta go to bed.
I took a break for a while. I went to watch something else. After a while, I was like that. So yeah. So sorry.
No, you're all good.
So, yeah. So I don't know. I don't understand the whole MJF and Hurt Syndicate thing. I think he's great with them. I don't know if he's injured and they just want to find a way to keep him on TV. I don't know. I don't understand how you gave this guy a bag and he's a valet.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. But yeah, the Anarchy Arena was great. They must have spent a lot of money to let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah.
Which was cool, that segment, that part of the match. I don't know why they felt they have to add a woman to the match. Not that I cared. I thought Willow did great. I thought Marino did great. They didn't hurt the match. I just wonder why they felt that was necessary.
Yeah.
Unless they got a lot of backlash in the past and they wanted to change it up. I don't care. I thought Willow did do a good job. And the jokes came out after were pretty stupid. Because Meltzer gave it a 5-star that match.
Yeah, it deserved it.
And so everyone's joking, Willow Nightingale has more 5-star matches than Roman Reigns. Like, I don't know. I Hangman Ospreay, can't say it was a bad match. I think you had a golden opportunity with Will and Moxley at Texas.
Nobody loves Hangman as much as I do. I mean, I've got like 5 Hangman shirts in my closet I can think of. He was the guy when they came to Sacramento, I was most excited to go and see. And but he shouldn't have won that match. I think that Will Ospreay is your A1 star that you have been making since the day he signed with AEW. He made his debut. He took that shot at Triple H. He's almost, he's not the Young Bucks. He's not Kenny Omega. He's not one of your VP guys, but he is kind of like your leader in the war of AEW against WWE. He is the one guy that really kind of saw their money and was like, nah, that's not my style of wrestling.
And I'm sorry, he's that guy that you can't. He's that type of guy that you can't say that they have on your side.
Yeah,
they have a million Hangmans.
I get it. If they're telling a longer Cody Rhodes story of he almost was there and he lost, and now he's almost there again and he lost. I don't know. You have a chance now. This is your first. Well, they did the London show, but I mean, like, this is your first.
She won a title at that show.
This is your first American stadium show that's huge. You're working a ballpark where the Texas Rangers play. Like, you should be having him out there, and
wouldn't that help with tickets?
You can use the footage of that to go to the next one and make it bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not saying Hangman doesn't need to be a main eventer. Hangman doesn't need to win the championship again. I'm just saying somebody has to beat the Death Riders, and it makes the most sense if Ospreay beats him. I understand that Hangman's been there since day one. You want to have a day one guy bring that championship belt out. I don't know. You're paying that guy. He's special. People like him. The people I think that are leading the war on being an AEW fan, he's one of the guys that they're pointing at saying that's the best wrestler in the world. You should treat him like it.
I couldn't agree more. Hangman, when he won the belt, and maybe he's different now, was a lackluster title run. It just didn't work out good.
Yeah.
They're going to do the whole circle back to Moxley because Moxley's the one who I think beat him. But no, he beat Omega. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. It doesn't make me want to get on a plane and go to Dallas for that match. That's what I would say. Ospreay, yeah, I'm tempted. I feel like LaGreca is saying you had the opportunity and you just didn't do it. But yeah, so I'm sure there's a reason for it. If they make it a triple threat, I don't think it'll be the same either. It's a Daniel Bryan effect. You can't force a Daniel Bryan effect.
Yeah.
Oh, the crowd's going to go nuts, so we'll just add him and make it special at triple threat. You can't do that.
Yeah.
The best thing about Daniel Bryan was it was organic every time. But I'm with you there. Anything you want to add? AEW, WWE, any wrestling thoughts in your mind? Sports? I don't care. It's TV's time.
I only read the headlines, so I don't know what the story is. But the story that's out there today that I started seeing being spread later in the afternoon was it looks like WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas is gonna happen. I'm not sure if they're moving it or what it is, but honestly, like we kind of touched on this, and now it's about a week later. If WrestleMania happens in Vegas again, is it on your list of like for sure I'm going to go?
I'll never say for sure.
Mm,
I'd be crazy to this far in advance.
mhm,
Am I tempted to go? Am I intrigued by it?
mhm.
Absolutely. Um, do I maybe have a hotel room booked on the rumored dates? Possibly. But yeah, I'm tempted. But I was also a huge I mean, the timing worked out for me great this year. I've said it a million times. I
Mhm,
was also really pleased with the product going into that time as well.
mhm.
I just thought they're firing on all cylinders. How can you not want to go to Vegas for a show? I hope they regain momentum a little bit. We got a long time, but who are we kidding? Yeah, I'd want to go. What about you?
I honestly would lean towards like I'm not sure that I want to go for Vegas. Like
Mm,
I need it's hard to like buy a ticket. Well, it's not hard. If you want to buy a ticket, you buy a ticket. But I mean, it's hard to buy a ticket once a big dream match gets rolled out. But
that's
I've
true.
been like rolling through my mind, like, what is WrestleMania 42's main event? I am never falling for this crap saying The Rock is going to wrestle again. Like, I am not like, and my dream of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus CM Punk is probably never going to happen as well. But you got to think the golden boy of Cody Rhodes. Like, would Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns be the biggest match in WWE, or is there another match that you think we could get for WrestleMania as the main event? That
I just changed the banner.
nah,
Stevie says no rock crap.
I'm not.
I'm
Like,
just kidding.
you put those headlines up, I'm gonna comment on it. I'm not falling for this. Like I'm
Yeah.
not on this. No way.
I mean, we thought after the Cody storyline last year, how
Uh-huh.
well done that was for what 2 years.
Yeah.
What can you do the following year? And I remember Cody coming out saying, "Yeah, we got something really good planned."
Mhm.
Who knows if that was the Cena talk then? He has to say that stuff regardless.
We got lucky. We got way lucky with
We,
Cena versus Cody.
we got real lucky. Absolutely. We were there for history. Um, yeah. WrestleMania is WrestleMania, man. That's like saying, would you not go to the Super Bowl because I mean, besides assuming your team's not going to play there because you don't like the matchup.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to go, you're gonna go.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it's like that with Mania. I think it's like that with Vegas too. Vegas added so much to it, and we've talked about it in depth. We don't have to continue
Uh-huh.
that. So I would be tempted. And I love the stadium. I loved everything about the experience.
I don't know if I could dig up enough stuff that I want to go see again. Everything is going to be like I was just here. I was just here.
Right.
I was just here. Um, I don't know how it's going to work, and I haven't heard any of the stories. I haven't heard anything about WrestleCon in New Orleans. I hope that gets all figured
Yeah,
out. And but I don't know that I didn't read the stories, but that's the headlines that I was reading is that this Vegas thing is going to get signed, sealed, delivered soon.
it's 90% done, and the only 10% left is just the formal announcement.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised this weekend if they do it because they're in LA,
Uh,
and that's like probably a big place for TKO.
they could send they don't have to send a wrestler there, but they could send a crew to film some sort of video if they don't have enough like B-roll as it is that they can make something like that. But you don't have like last year it was announced that the Kentucky Derby NBC doesn't have the rights to basketball yet till next year, so I don't see them making an announcement at the NBA finals. I wonder what's big enough to be like we're doing this
They can
unless
go on ESPN. They can go on ESPN one day and do
yeah,
it.
or they could hold it for a month and they could do it
Yeah.
at the Today Show on NBC or something.
Yeah, they have so many options.
In New York at SummerSlam.
Yeah, WWE, like, they call their shot.
Yeah.
They don't sit there and say, all right, hopefully we can go here and do it, or this. They call their shot.
The
Just like
Kentucky Derby is weird as it was.
I really
I know it's a big deal. A lot of people talk about it, a lot of people watch it, but the amount of people that were watching the Kentucky Derby that were like, "Oh shoot, WrestleMania, Vegas!" Like,
I gotta go. Do they have mint juleps there? But yeah, so I think it's a matter of time. Latest SummerSlam, I think before SummerSlam. But man, I promise I'd let you out of here because you had to be somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Any parting thoughts?
I thought we were all good, man. I think we keep getting better each and every week. Money in the Bank's gonna be a good show. I'm not excited about it, but I know I'm watching it on Saturday. I'm hoping something big happens. I honestly really, really hope something big happens.
They need it. They need a little shift.
I got you.
Shift. Yeah. But hey, thank you everyone for joining us. If you have any questions after, my Steve dance, I love it. Yeah, if you have questions after, just drop them in the comments, and myself or Steve will be happy to answer it. Steve, thank you as always for coming on.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate it. All right, everyone, take care.
I'll see you soon.